Hi, I'm your host Mark Aaron, and welcome to In Focus by U Multicultural, where we focus on civic issues here in Winnipeg. And in today's episode, we'll be talking to a Winnipegger who's making a huge splash in the entertainment industry, and as well on how COVID-19 affected the entertainment industry as well. So with me right now is Hera Nalem. Hera, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great as well. So can you give us a brief description about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So, hi, everyone. My name is Hera Nalem. I am a Winnipeg based actress, singer songwriter. Call it what you will. I am a multidisciplinary artist. I love to collaborate. Yeah, that's, I don't know how to describe myself. Now that you asked that question, I just love the arts and I like working with all the artists, any kind of art form, really. I'm also a youth coordinator, program coordinator at the Broadway Neighborhood Center, where I help coordinate the after school leaders program there, as well as help facilitate one of their biggest multimedia programs called Just TV. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
So what would you say are the difficulties of being in Winnipeg and wanting to work in the entertainment industry? Because there's not a lot of job offers right now in Winnipeg or like opportunities to work in movies or let's say TV shows.
Right, right, for sure. I remember on the first couple of months, when movies were limited, it was still okay. But the theaters in Winnipeg actually had to shut down. They had to cancel their seasons, all the shows. I actually had booked two shows for two MTC shows, and then I lost my contracts because of COVID, and that to me was just extremely heartbreaking because that's like my livelihood gone, um and it was also like the first time that I had been booked into one of Winnipeg's biggest stages, like, and for me to like lose that was very heartbreaking. Like I just didn't know how to feel about it. So I feel that a part of me already knew as soon as COVID was even in the picture. I was like, "Oh no, this is only gonna go downhill from here." So a part of my brain was kind of like preparing for a lot of rejection and like losses. But like when it actually happened, that's when I was just like, "No, this is gonna be so crappy." So it was very hard. I was very fortunate that I had shot a movie prior to COVID, so we were able to release it. It got a lot of traction. It was able to like we were able to screen it across Canada, which was like amazing. Um, and people, it got a lot of good positive reaction too. So I feel that that was, I think, I'm very grateful that I was able to do that.
Mhm.
But other than that, like, yeah, it's honestly just the future. It's anything that you plan for the future for yourself as an artist. I think the loss of that and like the reminder of like, oh, being an artist, it's like not always going to be stable because most of the work is contract based was definitely very difficult to go through. Yeah. I don't know.
So like what are the difficulties of being in Winnipeg on let's say like unlike Toronto or Vancouver where it's like a bigger like entertainment
Big
scene, a
well,
bigger
that's
entertainment scene.
yeah, it's like a blessing and a curse, really. Like
Yeah.
the cool thing about Winnipeg is that it's such a small hub. So as soon as you know somebody in the circle, you're basically in, you know? So that's great if you know someone from the inside, but because it is so small, the industry, there's only so much that they could hire, right? And I find that here in Winnipeg, people like to stick to what they know and they don't always try things on the get-go. Like they rely on word of mouth and when you vouch for someone. So any new artists, it's like it's double the work for them. It's either they
Mhm.
have to start their own thing and make a name for themselves, or they have to really, really work hard to find a direct connection to the industry in order for them to get an in. So I think that's the difficult part, you know. If like you said in Toronto or Vancouver, where there's more opportunities, if you get rejected by one company or one project, there's like what, 7, 8 more that you can try. But here in Winnipeg, there's only 3 options. And how many of us are trying to get into those productions, right? Like it's hard. The competition is tough here, I would say. Or it's just the small scale is like a little bit harder because it's the chances of you getting hired is like very low. So you gotta really work hard. But yeah.
So how can we change the Winnipeg entertainment industry to be like Toronto and Vancouver?
To be I feel like that is a great question. I feel like I wouldn't have all the right answers to that because even myself, I consider myself essentially new to the industry and I still don't know much about it. I know there is an industry and it's small. And I feel that how that would change is honestly to just if people started to look at the industry more, nurture it more, invest in it more, create more spaces for creatives and artists to make more stuff. You know, if we get more funding per se, or um, yeah, like for us to get an audience, I think too. I find that with Winnipeg, audiences are quite hard to grab because a lot
Mhm.
of the demographic here is like old people, you know,
Yeah.
so it's like or families. So yeah, Winnipeg is like super family oriented, like lots of families here with kids. All the young people are like either moving out into bigger cities because that's where all the
Mhm.
opportunities are. But I think we should create our own little hub here, where it is cool to be in Winnipeg. We can do cool stuff here in Winnipeg. There is a beauty in a city as small as Winnipeg. There's cinematography things that you can do here that you can't really do in big cities with big buildings. So I think embracing what we have and amplifying it through media would be very, very helpful. Yeah. Instead of, associating Winnipeg with, oh, it's just a small town. Like,
Yeah.
no, Winnipeg is cool and creative. And we should shine a light on that even more. If you just have to dig for it. Yeah.
So if COVID-19 doesn't change for the better, how can you see the entertainment industry change in the future?
Oh, if COVID didn't change?
Yeah, if COVID, let's say it's going on still for 2 years, how can you see it change the entertainment industry right now?
Oh my gosh, that is very, very tricky. Like COVID-19 is a challenging thing to work with, right?
Mhm.
I think the positive light creativity wise is that COVID-19 and all these restrictions that it comes with will challenge creatives, whether
Mhm.
you're a writer, a singer, songwriter, you have so much that you can work with and you have all this time. You have all this time to to work on the things that you want to do, all the projects. That's great. And I think people will start thinking outside of the box, whether that's if you want to put on a video, what kind of video is going to make you stick out? What kind of mediums are you going to
Mhm.
do? Maybe you're going to do like I don't know, like what are people already doing? I know that there's people doing remote shows where they do a 15 minutes bit outside of your home and you can watch their performance from your window. I know
Mhm.
that's a thing that's going on already. Um, some people are doing virtual series or um, like YouTube series things, online series,
Yeah.
and some people are doing more podcasts. So I think it's great that people are thinking outside the box and like exploring their ways of expression. And I think that will definitely create some form of hybrid of like multimedia something. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I know it's already happening. Um, I don't know.
Mhm.
I feel like I trust in the creative community well enough that they will be able to survive this pandemic. Something amazing will come up. So many stories will be told. I think where there's going to be a lot of self discovery there. It's already happening right now. I think it's just a matter of finding the support. If only the higher ups would, give some money to like produce stuff, it'd be
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah.
And I think also with with the demand right now of media, new media, because everyone's online now. I feel like with that demand, I'm sure that those projects will eventually be supported because there's a demand for new content now. Everyone's looking for stuff to be amused by. So everything's gonna be digital, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give someone who wants to step foot into the entertainment industry but are scared to?
That are scared too.
Yeah, what
Oh,
advice would you give them?
oh, that is so funny. Okay, I'm trying to think of it as like what would I have told myself in the past. I'm still dealing with this actually. I feel like
Yeah.
that fear of putting yourself out there in any field will never go away. I think that any form of like leveling up or filling the gap is very terrifying because you for humans they're programmed to question themselves, and I'm not
Mhm.
sure why. But embrace that fear and don't let it dictate your choices, but just go for it. I think that if you're wanting to explore something that you want, um, just go for it. I think trust yourself enough to know that you're doing it for yourself and not for anyone else. Um, and just go for it. That fear will never go away. I'm gonna keep it real, but
Mhm.
it shouldn't dictate your choices. Fear is good. Fear is good. It means you care about it. Um, but if you're letting fear decide as to whether or not you should do it, then that's not good. Just embrace it. It'll be fine. You're going to be fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Hera.
No problem.
Mhm.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Well, that's it for today's episode of In Focus by U Multicultural. I'm your host, Mark Aaron, and special thank you to Hera Nalem for her time. Hope you stay safe and have a nice day.